Hey there guys, today we're just going to be doing my full Blu-ray collection. I was just cleaning out some of my shelves. As you can see, they're really loose back here, and I just felt like doing a complete overview of my Blu-ray collection. So here we go. First up, we have I Am Legend on Blu-ray, starring Will Smith. This movie defines survival movies. This is one of the best movies to have on Blu-ray because just Will Smith on Blu-ray. What else can you say? Next we have is Independence Day, another Will Smith film. I got a bunch of Will Smith on Blu-ray because Will Smith is the type of person you would want to have on Blu-ray. Independence Day was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I've always enjoyed it, and I thought it's just one of those great sci-fi movies and a good movie to have on Blu-ray. Next up we have iRobot. This is not the newest edition, this is the older edition, but it's still nice to have this on Blu-ray. Again, it's Will Smith. Next we have is the Blu-ray DVD digital copy X-Men, the very first film. It has, I think, 5 discs if I'm not mistaken. As you can see. See, it's got 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4. Excuse me, 4 discs. I don't know if this is still in print. Actually, I think they went out of print, but I'm not sure. So if you don't have them, then you need to pick them up while they last. Because I heard they was going out of print, if not already out. This is a great movie to have on Blu-ray. I do not have the other ones. I need to get those. Next up is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is The Wizard of Oz on Blu-ray. You have to have this movie on Blu-ray. Why? Because it's a classic. Judy Garland, God rest her soul, but she is just an amazing actress and an amazing singer. This movie defined my childhood. And I always thought that the girl from True Grit should play as... Is her name Wendy? I forgot. Should play in The Wizard of Oz. This is just the remastered version, but it's still good quality if you can handle the black lines on the side of the screen like what's right here. The next we got is Transformers on Revenge of the Fallen, I think. This is the second movie in the series on Blu-ray. This edition is no longer in print. Pick it up now. As you see, it's got 2 discs, but this edition is no longer print where I am, so pick this up when you can. The next one we have is This Means War. This movie got mixed reviews, but I enjoyed the film. I enjoy Tom Hardy's movies, and Reese Witherspoon and Chris Pine are 2 great actors and actresses. This is just a movie to definitely have on Blu-ray. Do not get it on DVD. Just go ahead and upgrade to the Blu-ray. The next we have is Disney's Tron Legacy. This movie is okay. It's not one of the best movies that Disney's ever put out, but it's still a good film, and it's great to have on Blu-ray. The picture quality is amazing. Next up, we have Gamer. Not that great of a film, but I'm a Gerard Butler fan, and I had to pick up Gamer. It's nice to have on Blu-ray, and the picture quality is amazing. Next up, we have Fast 5, the extended edition, was supposed to come with a slipcover. I did not buy it with a slipcover. I bought it at a pawn shop for $5. I'm happy to have it. This is one of the best in the series. It's got The Rock in it. You have to have The Rock on Blu-ray. Next we got Edward Scissorhands starring Johnny Depp. It's a Tim Burton film, and this is just an amazing movie to have on Blu-ray. This defined my childhood also. This just uses the full 1080p. It's just an amazing. It's got smart technology, which makes it even better. Next up, we got a Shia LaBeouf classic, Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye is a great movie. It has Michelle Monaghan in it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's played in a lot of movies now. But Eagle Eye is just an amazing movie to have on Blu-ray. Next up is a new addition to my collection, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is just a pure classic movie. And this is the 100th anniversary edition, which has the timeline and everything else on it. But just this movie defined a generation. This is a very funny movie, and it's one of those horny teenager classics. So if you haven't seen this, pick it up on Blu-ray. Whew, mouth is getting dry. Next up we have Final Destination 5. I like Final Destination 5 the very best because it just brings out the full potential of the Final Destination films. Just all around, this movie is really creepy and really gory, which is an awesome film for a horror movie genre person who just collects horror movies. Final Destination also defined a generation and scared a generation. So Final Destination 5, pick it up on Blu-ray. Freddy vs. Jason. This is a decent movie. I'm not a very big fan of these versus movies, but it's pretty good if you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection and the Friday the 13th series. This is a pretty good film to have on Blu-ray. The picture quality is not the best, but it is still watchable. Still watchable. Of course, it's watchable. Next up is one of my favorite movies. It is The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. This is a good film. It's not as good as the first one. It is one of my favorites, though, of the series, but it's not as good as the first one. The special features in this is just amazing. It blows you away how many special features they got in this movie. And the acting is great, too. So pick this up on Blu-ray. Next up, we have Ghost Protocol. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, of course. This movie is a wonderful movie. It's not the best in the series, in my opinion, but just the action in this movie and Tom Cruise, you can't go wrong on Blu-ray. Next up is a new edition. It is Snow White and the Huntsman, the U.S. edition. This is just an amazing movie all around. Charlize Theron done an amazing job as the Queen. I'm gonna do an in-depth review of this movie, so stay tuned for that. So watch that. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time on this. I ain't gonna spend. Anyway, this is a new edition. A lot of people hate this movie. I didn't think it was that good, but the reason I picked it up is because I needed it on Blu-ray and it just kept lingering in my mind. I need to pick it up. Sucker Punch. A lot of people hate this movie. I remember when seeing it in theaters, I enjoyed the action, but the rest of the movie, it just didn't click for me. My cousin was the same way. It didn't click for him, but he absolutely hates it. I decided to pick it up because it was $5, and the actresses are hot in this movie, and the action's good. I'm willing to give it another chance. Next up is we have a Johnny Depp classic, guys. Sweeney Todd, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. This is an amazing musical, a dark musical with a lot of violence, a lot of killing. Johnny Depp just goes all out in this film, and it's just an amazing film. And this is probably one of the best musicals out there. Tim Burton is just an amazing writer, director, screenplayist, animation person. He's just amazing, all around amazing. Next up, we have one of my all-time favorites, American History X. The reason I like this movie is because of the curb stomp. This movie, it just sets the mood for hate and revenge and vengeance on everything. Not just against white people, against black people. It's against America, standing up for what you believe in. I don't like this movie because it hates black people, because God knows I do not hate black people. I don't hate anybody. It's just, this movie, it could be so much more than just hatred. I could go all day with this movie, but this is just an amazing movie. If you have not seen it, pick it up. Next up is another new edition, and it is a classic movie, American Graffiti. I mean, come on. Who does not want to see Harrison Ford at his younger age? And Richard Dreyfuss, come on. I mean, this movie is just all around good fun, and it's good. It's just a great classic movie. If you've never seen it, just go pick it up. Next up, we have a new edition, The Avengers. This movie is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my whole lifetime. This movie has just blew me away. I do feel like it was overhyped when it first came out, but just this movie defines this generation. It really puts the potential of what special features and special effects can do to a Blu-ray, and just what they can do now with movies and technology is just amazing. Pick up The Avengers on Blu-ray. Next up is we have a surprisingly good film. This movie is just one of those dark movies that really sets the mood for hate, which is Brothers. Brothers is a really good film. It won two. It had 2 Golden Globe nominations, and it just blows you away when you watch it. Next up, we have The Boondock Saints, one of my favorite films of all time. There's a lot of killing, a lot of violence, and standing up for what you believe in. That's the kind of movies I like. The Boondock Saints is one of my favorite movies. Next up, we have White Hawk Down. I'm just kidding. It's Black Hawk Down. This is my first Blu-ray, I think. I picked this up because it was like $7 at Walmart. It was right around Halloween. That's what I didn't understand. This one will sell at Halloween time. Halloween time, Black Hawk Down. I don't get it. But this movie is an amazing movie. Very, very great, directed by Ridley Scott. He really went all out for this film, like he did in Gladiator. This is just a real good film to have on Blu-ray. Next up is another new edition. Picked up at Dollar Tree for $1. The Gun and Beetlejuice Handbag. I've never seen this film. I'm willing to give it a shot off of the Crazy Jason's approval and Wet Movie 1. So check them guys out. I have their links below. Kick-ass. This movie is kick-ass. This movie is just kick-ass. This is the movie that you gotta have on Blu-ray. Enough said. I would do more in-depth whatever to this film, because this film is like the most amazing movie in the world. Jonah Hex. That's all I'm gonna say about that film. Next up, we have Jumper. Surprisingly good film. I watched this film off of my cousin's approval because he said it was good when he first watched it, and he was surprised that I'd never seen it, and I was surprised that I'd never seen it. I've never even heard about it. So I went to Walmart, I saw it on DVD for, I think, $5. I picked it up on DVD, and then I watched it, and the next day I was like, this is a movie for Blu-ray. I only get the best movies for Blu-ray. Jumper. Next up, we have one of the classic movies of today. Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1. These two movies are amazing and just all around good fun. Iron Man is one of my favorite just comic book movies, and this is just defines this generation. Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2 are the best movies to have on Blu-ray. Did you ever dream about seeing a movie and then you wake up to realize you're in another dream, within a dream, within a dream, within another dream? I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, am I in a dream now? I don't know. It's just really weird. I don't know what to do anymore. Next up, we have Liam Neeson. Guess what he's doing? He's kicking ass and trying to get his daughter back and Taken. Pick this up at the pawn shop for $4. $4! Brand new. Never been opened. $4. Taken. If you do not own this movie, go own it. Next up, we got two of some of my favorite mythological movies. Can you guess? Go ahead, guess. I'll wait. Have you guessed? If you guessed Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans, you are correct. These movies are amazing, and they just really set the film genre apart from every other film out there. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But Sam Worthington done a great job in these two films, and I'm really glad to have these on Blu-ray. Next up, this is Sparta! 300. That's right. 300 with Gerard Butler. This is just an all-time classic movie that's going to be a classic when my kids are walking around in diapers. Or when they're 18. But this movie just is an awesome movie to have on Blu-ray. Next up, if you don't own this movie on Blu-ray, you suck. Sorry to say it, but you do. The Dark Knight. This movie is one of the best movies to have on Blu-ray. Just everything about it is Blu-ray, Blu-ray, Blu-ray. Next up, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. Not one of the best remakes, but still a good one. Well, guys, we're at the 15-minute mark. Ain't that something? Next up, we have Mrs. Doubtfire, which is a new edition, but this defined my childhood. I know every line from this movie, and I know every scene from this movie, and I can repeat it back and forth. Figaro! Face Off, another film that I know backwards and forwards, and I've been up inside this movie, and I just know every inch of this woman. I know every inch of Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. This is another new edition, which I'm surprised to get. I got it for $1 at the Dollar Tree of Crazy Jason's What Movie One's approval. The War at Home. Never seen this film, but I've heard great things about it, so I'm willing to give it a shot. Next up, we have one of my favorite movies, just an all-time classic movie, The Green Mile. I picked this up at Walmart in the $8 bin. Yes, we finally have an $8 bin at Walmart, at my Walmart. Pick up The Green Mile. It's one of the best movies to have on Blu-ray. I have the Digibook on order, so I'm getting the Digibook, but this will suffice. Next up, we have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo Special Edition. Just look at that. Look at the cover art. Oh, God, I can't get enough of the cover art. You got just greatness. Just greatness. Come on, Daniel Craig. And Rooney Mara shows her full body in this movie. How could you just not see that? Next up, we have Superbad 2-disc collection. This is defining my childhood, not childhood, I wasn't a child. Find my high school days. Superbad is an amazing movie, an amazing funny movie. It really sets the mood for high school. Next up we have The Town. I went to see this on my cousin's approval and my brother's approval. I fell asleep at their house watching this. I did not care for it then, but I rewatched it and it blew me away. I love this movie. I love everything about it. Next up we have the sucky ass version of Total Recall. T2, also known as Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I do not like the Skynet edition. It takes too long to get to the freaking movie. If you own this, you know what I'm talking about. But the Blu-ray quality is amazing on this. I've watched it 4 times since I got it, and I love it. Now, don't hate, alright? Because what you're about to see will think that I'm gay. I'm not, but I do have them. The Twilight movies. I do not have New Moon because I do not want to really buy it. These was gifts from my mom. The only reason I said I like Twilight is because she likes Twilight. Why did I do that? I have no earthly idea. But yes, I have the Twilight movies. Am I a fan? Kinda. Not really though. But the Twilight movies, I've read the books. And I love the books. I just didn't really care much for the movies, but I have them anyway. Terminator Salvation. The reason I'm doing this separately is because I did not like this movie. The quality of the movie is good, but just the movie itself is lacking. Or lactating. Next up we got Transformers The Dark of the Moon. The reason I have this movie is because I love it. You know what I'm talking about if you love Transformers. Transformers is one of my favorite movies of all time. You have to get the whole collection. I have the box set or whatever coming, but just Transformers is a great movie and a great movie to have. Next up we got Rock'n'Roller. I do not like this movie. I'm going to trade it in. The only reason I got it is because it had Gerard Butler in it. Rock'n'Roller. I do not like Rock'n'Roller. I did it. I went there. Next up we have Resident Evil Afterlife. I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil series. Especially this one. This is one of my favorite because of the action and just the plot of the movie. A lot of people do not like the Resident Evil films, which I do not understand. But they're mostly the gamers and everything. But I'm a gamer too, and I play the games. And I really enjoyed the movies. Mila done a great job in this, I think. But Resident Evil Afterlife. Next up, we have the Resident Evil Trilogy. Resident Evil Trilogy. Resident Evil Trilogy. Sorry if this is going on too long, but Resident Evil Trilogy. Next up, we got another Stakeout. This was a great movie when I first saw it. I picked it up for $1. I cannot go wrong with that. I gotta move some things around. The Matrix. You gotta have this on Blu-ray. The Lost Boys. Let Me In, a surprisingly good film. I enjoy Chloe Moretz's movies. This is just an all-time great movie. Legion. A surprisingly underrated movie, but I really enjoy it. The Last Song. You didn't see that. Law-Abiding Citizen, one of my favorite movies of this decade. It's just an all-out fun movie. John Flickster says he doesn't like it, and he said he traded it in, which is fine. People's got their own opinions, but I really enjoyed it. So, John Flickster, I'm going to buy another copy and send it to you. You got to keep this, man. Anyway, guys, John Flickster, amazing guy. I'll have his link in the description. Just an all-time amazing guy. I watch his videos all the time. And, yeah, go subscribe to him. He's an awesome guy. Next we have is Piranha. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Point Break, one of my all-time favorite movies. Paranormal Activity, which is a great scare. Dun 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 dun. I think that was a Star Wars soundtrack. Not sure. Sorry if it was. Ugh, that's one thing not to mess up. Star Trek, the 3-disc collection. I got it for $2 at the pawn shop. Just great movie, and I can't stop touching this movie. Predators, surprisingly underrated. Never Back Down. A lot of people's never seen this movie. I love it. Ninja Assassin, a great gory movie. Dylan Dog, a great movie. Disturbia, great Shia LaBeouf movie. And last but not least, Daylight, great Stallone film, very highly underrated. But yeah, well guys, thank God we're done. That is all for my Blu-ray collection. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. So please subscribe.